Yeah, so we'll start the class. So earlier, in the last 2 3 days onwards, we have discussed about expansion of solids and liquids. In a similar manner, today is our discussion is about expansion of gases. A gas is also can expand every matter almost except some exceptional cases like an anomalous expansion of water, like that. Exceptional cases, most of the substances will expand on heating. Similarly, gases also. So then, in case of solid is heated, then what will be happening? Its dimension gets changes. Okay, so its dimension gets changes, and if the liquid is here affected, its volume is also changes. Whereas the gas is heated, what will be happen means when the gas is heated, anyway temperature is changes when the gas is heated. But in addition to the temperature, volume and pressure of the gas both are changes. That's why the gases will have volume coefficient of expansion and pressure coefficient of expansion. Then how can we define this volume and pressure means? Why the gases will have two types of expansion coefficients of volume and pressure means? The reason is this one. When the gas is heated, not only temperature, the volume and pressure of the gas both are changes. That's why we will have volume coefficient of expansion of a gas and the pressure coefficient of expansion of a gas. How can we define the volume coefficient of expansion means? It is the ratio of, it is the fractional change in volume of a gas per degree rise of temperature when the gas is heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. If the gas is heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 1 degree centigrade, the fractional change in volume of a gas, that is known as volume coefficient. For example, V naught is the volume of volume at 0 degrees centigrade, and Vt is the volume at T degrees centigrade. So then the volume coefficient can be written as alpha equals to delta V by V naught, means that is the fractional change in volume. That is for T degree centigrade. Then fractional change in volume per degree centigrade means the fractional change in volume divided by rising temperature. That's why we can write alpha equals to delta V by V naught of T degree centigrade. So here delta V is equals to, I can write Vt minus V naught. And from this relation, Vt is equals to V naught of 1 plus alpha of T. So then we can write this is per degree centigrade. So this is about the volume coefficient of a gas. So similarly, pressure coefficient. How can we define the pressure coefficient? Means the same thing. It is the beta. It is the nothing but what we can write. It is the fractional change in pressure of a gas. Okay, the fractional change in pressure of a gas when the gas is heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 1 degree centigrade at constant volume. That is known as the pressure coefficient. So the pressure coefficient is nothing but delta P upon P naught into T. So here what is mean by P naught means P naught is nothing but pressure at 0 degrees centigrade, and PT, that is nothing but pressure, yeah, pressure at T degree Celsius. So and from this one delta P is equal, I can write PT minus P naught. So therefore PT that's equals to P naught of 1 plus beta into T, I can write. This is also per degree centigrade. So just have a look on it. Volume coefficient one more time, and pressure coefficient one more time. Why the gases we have two types of coefficient of expansion means? The reason is that when the gas is heated in addition to the temperature, so pressure and volume both are changes. If the pressure is constant, volume is changes with temperature. If the volume is kept constant, the pressure is changed with the temperature. So that's why we will have two types of coefficient of expansion: volume coefficient of expansion and pressure coefficient of an expansion. How can we define volume coefficient of expansion? Means at constant pressure, the fractional change in volume of a gas per 1 degree rise of temperature when the gas is heated from 0 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius. By keeping the pressure of a gas constant, if the gas is heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 1 degree centigrade, What is the fractional change in volume of a gas? That is known as volume coefficient of expansion, alpha equals to delta V by V naught into T. What is delta V means? Change in volume. V naught is nothing but initial volume. So V naught is volume at 0 degree centigrade of a gas. Vt is the volume of gas at T degree centigrade. Then change in volume is nothing but Vt minus V naught. Similarly, we can write this. Then after that, the pressure coefficient of a gas. So this is also simple, similar to that. So at constant volume, the fractional change in pressure of a gas when the gas is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade, that is known as the pressure coefficient of a gas. Then we can write similar to this. We can write all the similar scenarios. So here, don't get confused there. Alpha, beta. Already we have used these words in solids. There alpha stands for linear expansion. Here alpha stands for volume coefficient of gas. There beta stands for areal expansion. Here beta stands for pressure coefficient of gas. In the solids, alpha, beta represent those things. Here the alpha, beta represent these volume and pressure coefficients. Okay. Letters are same, but they are representing different physical quantities in different topics. So this is about the pressure coefficient, volume coefficient. What is the reason means why we have the gases will have two coefficient of expansions. The reason is that when the gas is heated, in addition to the temperature, volume and pressure both are changes. If you keep the volume of the gas kept constant, then pressure of the gas is changes. If you keep the pressure of the gas constant, means volume of the gas is changes. So that's why we will have two types of expansion: volume coefficient of expansion and pressure coefficient of expansion. That is the definitions for this. Got it? So, got it, students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just keep subheading volume coefficient. Volume coefficient. Volume coefficient. You can write this. It is the fractional change. It is the fractional change in volume. It is the fractional change in volume of gas. Fractional change in volume of gas at constant pressure. At constant pressure. At
Sir, can you
constant.
repeat, sir?
It is the fractional change in volume of a gas. It is the fractional change in volume of gas. Fractional change in volume of a gas. Volume of a gas at constant pressure. At constant pressure when the gas is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. When the gas is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade, then you can write this till up to here. Till up to here you can write.
Sir, from 0 degree Celsius to 1 degree, that only, sir.
Which one?
Last sentence you repeat once more.
Yeah, from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Next, those who are completed, keep a pressure coefficient. Those who are finished, keep a pressure coefficient. So, kept na? So then you can write this. Same thing. It is the fractional change in pressure of a gas. It is the fractional change in pressure of a gas at constant volume. It is the fractional change in pressure of a gas at constant volume constant volume when the gas is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. Then you can write this. Okay, you can write this.
Sir, repeat once.
Same thing, instead of volume there we get just a pressure. It is the fractional change in pressure of a gas at constant volume when the gas is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. And the gas is heated from 0 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. So just a similar one. Earlier, just we have replaced the word pressure and volumes. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So then, what is the relation between alpha and beta? We have derived the relation alpha and beta there. That's different, okay? But here, what is the relation between alpha and beta? Means make a note of this, okay? The volume and pressure coefficients of a gas is related as the volume and pressure coefficient of a gas. The volume and pressure coefficients of a gas is related as volume and pressure coefficients of a gas is related as, you can keep the in box, alpha is equals to beta. Both are equal. Alpha equals to beta. The fractional change in pressure, fractional change in volume is equal for a given gas. So alpha equals to beta. So next one is gas laws. First, what is the Boyle's law? So you may have studied this Boyle's law from lower classes onwards. What is the Boyle's law? At constant, can anyone at constant temperature?
Constant pressure and temperature.
At
No.
constant, yeah. Speak up, Omar, it's not clear. So right at constant temperature, okay. So then after that, no idea. Boyle's law. It is done on the no. So make a note of this then. Okay. So then we can go for at constant temperature, the volume of a given mass of gas. The volume of a given mass of gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. Is
Sir, at constant?
Temperature, at constant temperature, the volume of given mass of gas, is inversely proportional to its pressure. Okay, is inversely proportional to its pressure. So therefore, V is inversely proportional to 1 by P. It's simple to understand this one. So then, just like a piston, if your piston is there, this is the piston. When the piston is pushed inwards, means then what will happen? When we are applying the force, means then we are applying a pressure. We are increasing the pressure on the piston. The pressure P is equals to F by A. When we are applying the force, means pressure is also increases. When the piston is coming inward direction, what is this volume of gas? Volume is decreasing or not? When the piston is coming, this is a cylinder provided with mobile piston. Some air is trapped here. So therefore, by pressing, we are pressing the piston inward, means injection syringes. Have you seen that injection syringes? Like this only. That is the. So if you are pressing the piston means then what will happen? The piston will be moved downward direction. When the piston is moved downward direction means what is this volume of the gas is decreases. So hence on increasing the pressure, the volume of the gas decreases. That's why without changing the temperature of the system, if the pressure is increases means the volume of the gas will decreases. So that is about the Boyle's law. So according to this, what can we write? PV is equals to constant. So therefore, PV equal to constant means observe this clearly. The product of pressure and volume of a given mass of gas is constant means what exactly it means that whenever the pressure is increases to compensate the product constant, V must be decreases. Whenever the pressure is decreases to compensate the product constant, then V must be increases. So any one of them decreases means the second one has to be increases to keep the product constant. Here the similar way, pressure is increases means automatically volume is decreases. On removing the force, what will happen? If the slowly we are removing the force means the pressure is decreases. When the pressure is decreasing means the gas will push the piston upward direction. When the piston is moving upward direction means the volume of the gas is increases. So that is about the Boyle's law. So therefore PV is equal to constant. So PV equal to constant means I can write P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. P1 V1 that's equals to we can write P2 V2. We know that density of a gas rho is equals to I can write mass by volume. So then from this relation volume V is equals to m divided by rho. Volume V equal to m by rho. If I substituted this P1 PV equal to constant means P into P into V means I can write m divided by rho that's equals to constant. So therefore, then I can write P by rho that's equals to what can we write? Observe clearly. The mass of the gas is constant. When the mass of the gas is changed means when you leave some gas from this cylinder to the outside, then the mass will decreases. When if you allow the some gas from surroundings to the cylinder, the mass is increases. That is only the way. But here there is no leakage of mass means for a given mass of gas, mass is constant. So if this m is taken this side, constant by constant causes another constant. That's why the ratio of P by rho is also that's equals to constant. So therefore P by rho equal constant. Here how I wrote PV equal constant means I wrote P1 V1 equal P2 V2. Similarly P by rho equal constant means I can write P1 by rho 1 that's equals to P2 by rho 2. So this is the Boyle's law. This is also called Boyle's law. The product of pressure and volume of a given mass of gas is constant at constant temperature. Similarly, at constant temperature, the ratio of pressure and density of the gas is also constant. Across some problems, we are going to use this formula to solve a numericals. Some problems, we are going to use this formula to solve the numericals. All are same. This is obtained from this only. So simple thing, density can be written as mass by volume. Then volume equals to mass by density. If I substitute this volume value here, then we will get to P of m by rho. Anyway, mass of the gas is constant. If this mass is taken to that side, it will come to denominator. So denominator means constant by mass. So mass is constant. Constant upon constant causes another constant. So therefore, P upon rho equal constant. Then I can write P1 upon rho 1 equals to P2 upon rho 2. So this is about Boyle's law. Till here it is there. This is an extension for objective. Okay, got it, students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so first copy this one. Okay, so this one. PV equals to constant. So then what is the rho means we get confused. Keep the word density there. Okay, so next this is the graph. So from the graph, one more thing also we can calculate this. So just to have a look on it. Okay, so therefore this is the graph of the pressure versus volume. This is the pressure P and the volume V. Okay. So by keeping at T1 temperature and keeping at T2 temperature. Listen this and try to answer this. So this is the variation of the pressure versus volume when the temperature of the gas is kept constant at particular level, say T1. The variation of the pressure versus volume is identified by this relation, first line, and the temperature is kept constant at some other value, say T2. The variation of the pressure versus volume is noticed by this relation. So which one of the T1 and T2 will be greater? Either T1 will be greater than T2 or T1 will be less than T2 or T1 equals to T2. How can I identify this? Which of the temperature is more among this? Either T1 or T2.
T2, sir.
T2. Yeah, T2 is more. We know why T2 is more. T2 will be more. Why
P
it
is
is more?
directly proportional to T.
Which one?
P is directly proportional to T.
But T is constant, no? T does not change.
Sir, at same volume, that pressure of T2 will be more, sir.
Then T2 will be more. That's what. How I'm asking that. So here T1 is a constant value, T2 is a constant value, but T1 and T2 are not same. At constant T1, this line shows the variation of pressure and volume. This line shows the variation of pressure and volume at the temperature T2. I am asking that which one will be greater, either T1 or T2 will be greater among this, or T1 equals to T2 or T2 equals to T1. Which one will be greater among this? So T2 is greater only. Yeah, listen. Ideal gas equation is there. PV is equals to RT. So here R is a constant of a universal gas constant. So R is nothing but we can write gas constant. So therefore, from this relation, what can I write? PV by R is equals to T. That implies I can write T is equals to, what is this PV? I can write PV. I can write area of PV graph divided by R. I can write. So area under P versus V graph gives what? Product of PV only. We have discussed that graph in the displacement time, velocity time, acceleration time graph. So what is the area under velocity time graph? Gives displacement, because displacement equals to velocity time. Similarly, what is this area under PV graph gives means product of pressure and volume. According to this relation, so PV can be written as area of the graph. Anyway, R is constant. So then this T is more when area is more. So look at here, under which line area is more, under the line 1 or line 2? Line 2 area is more, that's why T2 value will be more than T1. So this ideal gas equation will derive this.
So what does R represent, sir?
R represent universal gas constant. Its value is 8.31 SI units. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, ideal gas equation according to this PV T. How can they relate for a gas? Means PV equal to RT, where R is constant. PV by R equal to T. So what is this? PV stands for area of the graph. So anyway, R is constant. So then T is directly proportional to what can I write? T is directly proportional to area of P hyphen V graph. So therefore area is more means temperature is more. Based on that, we can decide that T2 is more than T1. That's it. Got it? So this one we'll see it now. Okay, after completion of the gas laws, we'll see it. So copy this one. So here I can write T2 is greater than T1. Make it fast. Okay, finish. No? Next, keep submitting Charles law at constant pressure. 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 What is the Charles law at constant pressure means? Just to write the definition, then we can go for explanation. At constant pressure, at constant pressure, at constant pressure, at constant pressure, the volume of given mass of gas, the volume of given mass of gas is proportional to its temperature, is proportional to its temperature. At constant pressure, the volume of a given mass of gas is proportional to its temperature. V is directly proportional to T. That implies I can write V upon T equals to constant. So therefore, V1 by T1 is equals to, I can write V2 by T2. Therefore, V2 by T2. And how can I write means density rho is equals to mass by volume. That implies mass M is equals to, sorry, volume V is equal, I can write M divided by rho. This V value is substituted, then M divided by rho into T is equals to constant. So therefore, according to the earlier argument, if this mass is taken this side, then we can write 1 by rho T equal constant, then rho T is equal constant. From this relation, rho into T is equals to constant. So therefore, we can write rho 1 T1 is equals to rho 2. So this is about the Charles law at constant pressure. This is also same. This is also same. So simple thing that is to understand this one. Here it is the same piston and what we are discussing there. And here it is the piston is left free. Piston is left free. And the box, this vessel is put it on a flame means we are supplying the heat. No? We are supplying the heat. When we are supplying the heat means what about this temperature of the gas is increases. So temperature of the gas is increases means what will be happen? So it will push the piston upward direction. If the piston is moving upward direction means the volume of the gas is also increases. Here nothing. The pressure is we haven't applied any new pressure and we haven't reduced any the pressure. So pressure we haven't changed anything. Just we are supplying the heat to the gas. So when the heat is supplied means by absorbing that heat, the temperature of the gas is increases. When the temperature of the gas is increases means practically we know that it will push the piston upward direction. When the piston is moving upward means the volume of the gas is increases. It means that the volume of this given mass of gas is directly proportional to temperature when the pressure is kept constant. That is called Charles law at constant pressure. This is the relation we can write it. So and how got it this one? How? Okay, so then how to draw the graph means for this I'll draw the two graphs. Okay, listen carefully. This is about temperature T in Kelvin, and this is about the volume V. The graph is a straight line passing to the origin, and if you draw a same graph here, this is the same thing. What is the difference between this and this sum? This is also a graph that shows the variation of volume versus temperature. This is also the graph that shows the variation of volume versus temperature. Then what is the difference between this and this?
Temperature is shown in Kelvin.
Here the temperature is shown in
Kelvin, sir. Yeah,
yes.
minus
Yes,
22.
so here the temperature is measured in degrees centigrade. At 0 Kelvin, the volume and pressure of the gas both are brought to 0. There onwards, that's why that is called absolute zero. That is the origin of the Kelvin scale. Already I told the importance of the Kelvin scale there in the topic called thermometry. It is an absolute zero scale is also we can call it. This is the reason of it. But whereas 0 degrees centigrade volume of the given gas will not be 0, so it will be 0 at minus 273.16 degree. So this is the absolute zero according to degree Celsius scale. This is an absolute zero according to the Kelvin scale of temperature. So this is about the variation of volume versus temperature on Kelvin scale on Celsius scale of temperature. So here anyway, P is equals to what can I write? P is equals to so that is about this. Okay, so note down this. Completed. So this is about P equal constant. So then similarly, so here you can okay. So just try to identify this from the graph. Okay. This is about temperature. This is in Kelvin, and this is the volume V. I have drawn two lines. Okay. So this is the line one represent pressure P1 and pressure P2. It means that by keeping the pressure is constant at level P1, the first line represents the variation of volume versus temperature. And similarly, by keeping the pressure is constant at the level P2, the variation of this volume versus temperature represented by this relation. So then how can I identify this? Either P2 is greater than P1 or P1 is greater than P2. Earlier
P1 is greater than P2.
P1 is greater than P2. Fine. So how it is then P1 is greater than P2? How?
Sir, const.
At a constant pressure only. So P2 and P1 are different, but throughout this process, P1 is constant. Throughout this line, P2 is constant. But P1 is different, P2 is different. P2 is constant for this line, and P1 is constant for this line. Okay, so then let us say this is an angle, say theta 2. This is an angle, say theta 1. How it is means just have a look on it. Here I am writing. What in ideal gas equation? PV is equals to RT. Okay. So therefore, if T is taken this side, then V by T is equal to what can I write? R by T. What is this V by T stands for? The ratio of V by T means here volume is along y-axis and temperature is along x-axis, means V by T stands for slope of VT graph. Slope of this VT graph. Slope means the ratio of y coefficient to the ratio of x coefficient, that is called slope. Here y coefficient is volume, x coefficient is temperature. That's why we can write slope of VT graph. Okay, so let me write here. This is the slope of V hyphen T graph. Okay, slope of VT graph, that's equals to R by P. This R is constant, means I can write slope is inversely proportional to pressure. So if the more slope causes less pressure and less slope causes more pressure. So then which of the line will have the more slope, means observe clearly from this diagram. Theta 2 is greater than theta 1, means tan theta 2 is greater than tan theta 1. Tan theta 2 represent what? Slope of line 2. Tan theta means slope only. Is less than, is greater than slope of the nothing but what? So this is the slope of line 1. Slope of 2 is greater than, means that is slope is inversely proportional to pressure now. So here slope of 2 is more, means P2 will be less. Slope of 1 is less, means P1 will be more. So then I can write P2 is less than. So like this we can identify this relation. So this is about way to answer this type of questions. Is this clear, Amma? Got it?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how P2 is less than P1, sir?
You check it. This is. So if you got this relation, then you can understand that. Is it clear that what is V by T stands for what? V by T stands for the ratio of volume to the temperature, nothing but the slope of volume versus T graph. So here volume versus T graph is equals to R by P. R equal to constant. Slope is inversely proportional to pressure. More slope causes less pressure, less slope causes more pressure. Among these two lines, which one of them will have the greater slope? Second line will have the greater slope. First line will have the less slope, and compared to this. So here the slope is more, means pressure is less. That's why P2 is less than P1.
Can we directly write
So now,
P2 is less than P1?
not getting what you're asking. Clear? Next, can keep the next line. Charles law at constant volume. Charles law at constant volume. Is it finished, students?
Yes, sir. Finished, sir.
Yeah. Charles law at constant
Sir, can't
volume.
we write directly that P2 is less than P1, sir?
If you remember, you can do it, but the anyone with the reason means this is the procedure. You can do it if you remember, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. The next one. Charles law at constant volume. Okay, so write it that. What is the constant volume means? Earlier you wrote a constant pressure. No, in that statement, replace the terms volume and pressure. Keep the pressure where the volume term is there. Keep the volume where the pressure is there. Then the same statement will be. So let me go through that statement once. What is a Charles law at constant volume means? So you can write it also. At constant volume, the pressure of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to its temperature. by keeping the pressure of a gas, volume of the gas constant, the pressure of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to its temperature. That implies P upon T is equal to, we can write constant. So therefore, here we can write P1 by T1, that's equals to, we can write P2 upon T2. So therefore, how to explain this means observe clearly pressure cooker. Sometimes a pressure cooker will blast in kitchen. Have you noticed that? At least have you listened that? So when it will be happen means let us listen this. Okay. So this is the same piston provided, but earlier case piston is movable, but it is clamped rigidly at these ends. So it means that it is not possible to displace the piston either. Not possible to displace the piston either upwards or downwards. Now we are continuously supplying. What will be happen means what will be happen here. Volume is kept constant. So therefore, volume is not possible to change. So as the temperature is increases, the pressure is also keep on increases. How can I believe that the pressure is increases means if you are keep on supplying the heat at particular temperature, the gas will break the container. The gas will blast the container. What is the reason why the gas will break the container means because of this huge pressure it want to escape out from the vessel. It want to escape out from the vessel. The vessel can tolerate until the instant it can hold the gas. If that limit is beyond that limit, the pressure is increases more and more. So it will lift out the piston upwards, or it may punch a hole at side walls, or anything happens. So anyway, the system is destroyed. So this is the way. The same thing we can observe pressure cookers. So pressure cookers also sometimes what was the cap? Which was the cap is lifted with huge velocities because of this high pressure. So cooker is blasted. Okay, so have you noticed that? At least have you listened? Noticed in the sense, have you ever listened? Yeah, that is the reason at constant volume, if your temperature is keep on increasing, means pressure is also keep on increases. So that is the chartless law at constant volume. We can write like this. So therefore, there is no relation between pressure and mass now. That's why we can't write the further. It is only the relation P by T equal constant. Then we can write P1 by T1 equal P2 by T2. The graphs will be similar to this. Okay, so this is about P, and the same thing. This is an absolute zero. At 0 degree Kelvin, both the pressure and volume of the gas is brought to zero. That's why this is called as absolute zero. Absolute zero means that only the pressure and volume of the gas is brought to zero at the temperature. That is called absolute zero. That was happened across Kelvin scale is 0 Kelvin. The same thing is happened across the Celsius scale is minus 273.16 degree Celsius. So that is about the variation of the pressure and volume. P equal to constant. Okay, finished. So next, is this over, Amma? Yeah, you can draw it.
No, sir.
Yeah, it is similar to the last one only. No, you can copy that. So then here also, how can I identify this? This is the temperature T of Kelvin K, and this is the pressure P. This is the first line represent the variation of the pressure versus temperature at constant volume V1, and this is the second line represent the variation of pressure versus temperature at constant volume V2. V1 is volume is kept constant at the level V1. If you notice the variation of the pressure and temperature, it is obtained by this relation. And if you are keeping the volume at the temperature, volume V2 at this level, if you observe the variation of the pressure and temperature, it is obtained by this level. So let us take this is theta 1 and this is theta 2. So then which one will be more? Either V2 will be more or V1 will be more? P1 will be more according to the earlier argument. Same thing. What is this ideal gas equation? PV is equals to RT. If T is taken this side there, then I can write P by T is equals to R by V. What is this P by T stands for? Nothing but slope of P versus T graph. Okay. So that's equals to R by V. So hence from this relation, what can we write? Anyway, this is R is universal gas constant. This is constant. So hence slope is inversely proportional to volume. Slope is inversely proportional to volume. So from this one, what we can write? Observe this from this graph. It is clear that tan theta 2 is greater than tan theta 1. So it means that slope of line 2 is greater than slope of line 2 is greater than slope of line 1. So more slope causes less volume, less slope causes more volume according to this relation. That's why V2 is less than V1. So this is about the variation of the volumes and how to identify which volume will be more. And from this one we can identify the ratio of volumes also. Ratio of volumes are nothing but ratio of the slopes. Okay, make it fast. In chemistry, you have to remember that and all came. You have to remember.
Last line is
Fine. Boltzmann constant. Boltzmann constant. Ideal gas. Ideal.
Completed, sir.
Yeah, fine. Okay. So just to keep submitting ideal gas. Ideal gas. Okay. When the gas is said to be ideal, what are the difference between ideal gas and real gas? Let us see. So different types of gases will be there: hydrogen, helium, lithium, noble gases, inert gases, different types of gases there. So ideal gas to real gas. What is mean by ideal gas, real gas? Just like a common man and Superman. Okay. So then what is an ideal gas means? When the gas is said to be ideal means to have an ideal gas, some conditions are there. What are the conditions means? First one is a gas that obeys all gas laws at all temperature and pressure. All gas laws in the sense Boyle's law, Charles law, and in kinetic theory a few more laws will be there. Okay, Dalton law, Graham's law. These are all called gas laws. There we can see that in kinetic theory of gases. A gas that obeys all gas laws at all temperature and pressure. And next one is the molecules of such gases, or the size of the molecules of such gases is zero. Size is zero means the molecules are point masses and there is no force of attraction or force of repulsion between the molecules among the gas. Such gas are said to be ideal. That is meaning of that ideal gas. But practically it is impossible to have an ideal gas in realistic nature. But some of the gases like hydrogen, nitrogen, helium, at low pressure and high temperatures, they will bit close to the perfect gas. So this is about the ideal gas, real gas. Ideal gas means what? A gas said to be ideal if it has obeyed all gas laws at all temperature and pressures, and the size of the molecule in such gas is zero. Size is zero. Remember that mass of the molecule is not zero. I'm telling that. Size is zero means what is the size of an atom? Nearly size of an atom is an order of 10 power minus 10 meter. So hence this 10 power minus 10 meter not, it must be zero. Size must be zero. Size must be zero means the molecules are point masses and there is no force of attraction between molecules and no force of repulsion between the molecule among the gases. such gas is said to be ideal, but ideal is concept is till up to books it can hold goods, but in realistic nature it is not possible to have this ideal gas. Except this gas, all the remaining gases are called real gases, which are available in the nature. Like just earlier we have discussed that, no? Available in the nature. So similarly, what we can write, the next one is what are the examples of means there is no perfect ideal gas in the nature, but some gases like hydrogen, helium, okay, nitrogen, these gases they are a bit close to the ideal gas when at high temperature, I mean, and low pressure. So this is about an ideal gas. Okay. So make a note of this ideal gas. Okay. A gas is said to be ideal. A gas is said to be ideal. A gas is said to be ideal if it obeys all gas laws. If it obeys all gas laws, comma, the size of the molecule in the gas is zero. The size of the molecule in the gas is zero. In the gas is zero. In the gas is zero. And there is no force of attraction or repulsion. There is no force of attraction or repulsion. There is no force of attraction or repulsion between force of attraction or repulsion between the molecules of gas. Between the molecules of gas is said to be ideal. Between the molecules of gas is said to be ideal. Ideal. Next point. Practically, it is difficult to have an ideal gas. Practically, it is difficult to have an ideal gas. Practically, it is difficult to have an ideal gas. But the gases like hydrogen, helium, nitrogen.
Sir, repeat from first, sir.
But the gases like hydrogen, helium, nitrogen are nearly perfect gases, at low pressures and high temperatures. 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 That's it. So that is about this. Ideal gas equation is left, so it is a matter of some 5 minutes. So tomorrow we'll finish that ideal gas equation and we will solve some problems based on expansion of gases. Then after we'll go for transfer of heat. If the heat transfer topic is finished, then this chapter called thermal properties of matter will be completed. Okay. So right guys, see you on tomorrow's class.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sir, how we can get this?
Huh?
Sir, how we can-
Oh, God. Simple now. Give that one. This one, man, a rough book.
Sir, you're right.
Yeah, fine. Let it be. Here you wrote this, no? Alpha is equal, if you substituted this Vt minus V0 by V0 into T, no? Cross multiplying that alpha V0 T, that's equals to Vt minus V0. So then Vt that's equals to V0 plus V0 alpha into T, no? Then Vt that's equals to V0 of 1 plus alpha into T. This is already we have done, where and there it is expansion of solids. That's why I thought students can easily. No problem. Okay.